Today on September 29th, Archangel Michael says, "It's an emergency. 2 minutes left. The identity of this person who wants to harm you is out, the name will open it immediately. My beloved child, before your finger even thinks of scrolling, I want you to breathe once and listen to me with your whole heart, because what I am about to say will not circle back again in the same way, and you will feel it burning through the second you receive it. So keep your eyes here. Keep your spirit open and do not move until the end, because in 2 minutes a name will come up inside you like a bubble from deep water, and when it rises you will know why you kept feeling a weight you could not explain, and why the rooms you cleaned still felt untidy in your chest even after you swept them 10 times in a day. Stay with me. Stay with me. Stay with me. I am Michael, and I have walked the edges of your nights to find the exact place where your trust was scratched thin. I have watched the way you apologize inside your own mind for needing love. I have seen the look you give your reflection when you try to convince yourself that the thing that hurts is just stress, just a season, just you being dramatic. But heaven tells the truth without stuttering, and today heaven has appointed truth to sit beside you like a lamp that refuses to turn off. So let the lamp burn as I speak, and do not hush it. Not this time. There is a voice near you that sounds helpful when others are looking and impatient when no one is around. A presence that appears with solutions only when solutions can be photographed, and disappears with excuses when real service is required. This presence knows your schedule, measures your steps, and keeps a quiet account of your weaknesses as if they were souvenirs. They replay your private sentences to people who do not care your heart. They borrow your words and spend them in rooms where you are not invited. They call it concern. They call it saying. But the truth is, it feeds them to see you small. And part of you already knows this, because your body flinches when their message tone arrives and peace leaks out of your ribs like air from a soft tire. You have tried to be fair. To give the benefit of the doubt, to believe that maybe you misunderstood. Maybe you were tired. Maybe it was the weather, or the timing, or the past. But the pattern kept repeating like a song you wish you could skip, and this is your permission to stop handing them your headphones. For the pattern is not tired of hurting you, and today I break it with clean light. The identity of this person has been placed on the table of heaven, and I am sliding the table in front of you now. Listen to the edges and you will recognize them. They compliment you in public with bland sugar, but correct you in private with unnecessary vinegar. They know your birthday but forget your battles. They remember your mistakes in high definition, but recall your kindness in blurry thrift store colors. They are comfortable when you doubt yourself, and nervous when you glow. They want your gratitude without earning your trust. And they like to knock on the door of your mind at midnight with just one more thought, then leave you awake and alone to clean the mess of their words while they sleep well, feeling satisfied. Your spirit has already noticed the little alarms heaven sent. The day your keys hid themselves in a place you would never put them. The day your small gift went missing and everyone joked about it too quickly. The time your private ID reached somebody's mouth before it left your notebook. The unnecessary questions about your income wrapped in laughter. The sudden appearance of your childhood story as entertainment in a group chat. The moment you told them you were tired and they replied with a story about themselves that was louder than your need. Beloved, these are not random glitches. These are holy breadcrumbs leading you out of a forest you did not plant. Let me speak clearly about the name, because you keep wondering if heaven will give you initials like a map, and the mercy of God is wiser than a game. But today the wind of the Spirit is allowed to whisper what you already feel in your bones. The letters that circle are S and J and R and M and A. 2 of those letters hover like birds above this person's name, and the vowel in the first half tastes like a worry. You have heard this name spoken often very near to your daily life, sometimes shortened into a nickname with a bright sound to make them appear harmless, sometimes lengthened into a formal tone to make them look important. And as I say this, you are feeling heat behind your eyes because recognition is a quiet fire that does not ask permission to warm the truth. Do not run to accuse. Do not run to perform anger. Let heaven keep the rhythm, because today is not about drama. It is about dignity. And I am here to return to you the simple dignity of no longer auditioning for a part in someone else's theater. I am tying up the scripts you kept rehearsing to keep their peace while your peace kept dying. I take the knot, I cut it, and I give your breath back to you in a clear glass of morning water. Drink it, and as you do, let the performance end. You ask how to move without guilt, and I say this. Boundaries are not punishments. They are doors with honest hinges. You will rise from this message and change 3 small things, and heaven will bless each change with the color of calm. First, you will stop oversharing the fresh seeds of your plans. The seedlings must stay under soft soil until they take root. Second, you will turn down the volume on the person who thinks your open heart is a buffet. Third, you will begin to affirm out loud the truth of who you are in God. And I will stand beside you each time you say it, so your words travel like arrows and return like doves. The person in question will notice your silence because your silence is the one language their manipulation cannot translate. They will try the oldest tricks, soft pity, sharper jokes, just checking on you, and the sudden emergency that somehow requires your energy again. But this time your no will be holy, your no will be kind, your no will be clean, and I will put a sword of peace between you and the old pattern so they cannot cut you without cutting their own reflection first. Do you understand me, child? Heaven is not sending you into a war. Heaven is escorting you out of one. I see the place in your home where you will feel this shift the most. It is not the front door. It is the quiet corner where you charge your phone. Where you stare for a minute too long after messages, where your heart waits for replies like a passenger watching a late bus. Go there after this and clear it. Remove the little pile of items that belong to yesterday. Wipe the dust. Open a window if you can, and speak these sentences softly so the walls learn a new language. I cancel permission for anxiety to set appointments in my day. I revoke access to my joy for anyone who refuses to honor it. I bless my feet to walk toward friendship that is safe, reciprocal, and patient, and as you say it you will feel something like a thread being pulled from your chest, and I will be the one taking it. I will dye it gold and sew it back as strength. You wonder why God allowed this season, and the answer is mercy disguised as school. You learned how to spot the counterfeit smile. You learned the difference between a listener and a collector. You learned that your tears cannot be currency and your giving cannot be a leash placed in someone else's hand. You learn to hear the small creak in your soul that tells you a door is closing, and because you learned it, heaven will now place new names around you. Names that do not hover like trouble but rest like sunlight on the floor. Names that will never use you as a story without asking your permission. Names that arrive with gentleness and leave with gratitude if they must go. There is one more sign I must give you, and it will arrive within 72 hours like a soft knock. You will encounter an old psalm or a set you remember from a safer time, and it will appear at the exact moment you choose yourself with courage. Take that as a seal from heaven that your timing is aligned, that I am already 2 steps ahead of your steps, clearing the hallway and turning on lights. And when the name rises, because it will rise, do not panic. Do not perform. Breathe and place the name in God's hands. If a conversation is right, it will be guided. If distance is right, it will be blessed. Either way, you will not be harmed because protection is already standing on your porch and favor is already reading your calendar. I am adjusting the pages so your heart can keep healthy time. Now I speak to the sore place that fears being alone. Hear me, beloved. You are not losing a person. You are losing a habit that dimmed you. And when a dimming habit falls, room appears for a friend whose laughter will not feel expensive, for a partner whose love will not require you to shrink, for mentors who do not need you to bleed to prove devotion, for community that stretches you without breaking you, and for rest that is not stolen but given. Place your hand on your chest for a second and whisper, I release the performance. I return to my center. I choose peace. Feel that, the gentle thud that has carried you through every night of confusion. That is your life answering yes to itself. And I bless that yes with length and clarity. I bless your sleep to hold you like a clean sheet. I bless your mornings to greet you like a window that opens without effort. I bless your work to be seen by eyes that do not envy. I bless your generosity to find homes that will not exploit it. And I bless your future to meet you in full daylight. Do not fear what is being revealed. Rejoice that you are trusted with revelation. You were not late to this truth. You were right on time. And now that you are here, you will not go back to the room where you kept apologizing for your glow. Pick up your glow, put it on like a well-made coat, and walk forward because I walk with you. And when you hear the old name echo behind you like footsteps, you will turn and see it is only the wind catching up to your new speed. Keep moving. Keep breathing. Keep believing. The story is not ending. It is finally telling the truth. If you are still with me at this last line, say softly, I receive clarity and I protect my peace. And as you do, heaven will underline your sentence with a quiet certainty you can feel. And when your day meets you after this video, it will find you standing taller, lighter, cleaner, and ready for the gentle people God is sending to match the weight of your heart. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks with contributions of up to $1. 20. Listen. Stay right here a moment longer because something gentle but decisive is happening inside you right now. A rearranging of invisible furniture, and as it slides into its rightful place, your clarity stops wobbling and stands. And when clarity stands, confusion has no chair left to sit on, so it must leave the room even if it pretends to forget its keys to return later. It will not, because I, Michael, lock the door behind it and hand you the key with your own name engraved on it, so you finally remember that your life is not a lobby where anyone can wander through and comment on the art hanging on your walls. You ask for a way to confirm what your spirit already knows without turning your day into a courtroom. And heaven gives you 3 clean confirmations. The first is the mere confirmation. When you think of this person, does your face tighten in small places you did not authorize? The jaw, the eyebrows, the middle of the chest. If yes, your body is testifying with honest language. The second is the pattern confirmation. When you share good news, does the conversation veer away from you like a river rerouted to avoid watering your field? If yes, your joy has been deliberately underfed in their presence. The third is the fruit confirmation. After interactions, are you consistently left with less courage, less focus, less sleep? If yes, you have measured the tree by its fruit, not its shade. And the measurement is complete. Now I am giving you the way to act without guilt, because guilt has been the leash that pulled you back into circles you already outgrew. Today you will perform the small liturgy of release that requires no audience, no announcement, and no drama. Take a plain sheet of paper and write 3 lines. I bless what taught me. I cancel what drained me. I reclaim what belongs to me. Fold it once. Place it somewhere private. And every time the old pattern tries to re-enlist you, touch that folded paper like a quiet alarm and your peace will answer the call before anxiety even knows your number. In the next day or 2 you will notice something ordinary become prophetic. An elevator that arrives the second you press the button, a traffic light that turns green as you approach, a message from an old friend at the precise instant you decide not to text the one who keeps you guessing. These are small parables heaven uses to say, flow is back, and when flow returns, the counterfeit currents lose their pull because they were only strong when you were tired. There is also a conversation I am preparing for you. Not with the person in question, but with yourself. The one you have postponed because you didn't want to admit how long you endured. In that conversation you will not be harsh. You will be accurate. You will count the moments you overlooked your own signals and then you will forgive yourself with a kindness that does not minimize what happened, but magnifies how much you have grown. I will stand there, hand on your shoulder, witnessing your honesty and sealing it with the blessing that makes tomorrow lighter than yesterday. You will also clean your digital doorway because spiritual clutter loves to hide in notifications, archive the chats that keep you circling, mute the threads that trespass into your calm, remove the quick access to places that make you doubt your worth, and pin the conversations that feed your courage. This isn't petness, it's stewardship, and heaven applauds stewardship like a choir because it proves you are ready for healthier abundance. I am sending helpers whose hearts do not need a sales pitch. They will recognize you by the quiet steadiness they feel when you speak, and they will not be threatened by your healing. One will teach you how to enjoy slowness without calling it laziness, another will show you how to celebrate without debt, and a third will encourage your art until your own voice becomes the room where you feel most at home. Receive them without suspicion, but with discernment, the same discernment you are sharpening now. About the name, breathe, the moment it surfaces, let it pass through you like a wave through a net, you are the shoreline, not the storm. If a boundary conversation must happen, it will be short and clear, with no rehearsed speeches, only the truth spoken calmly. This dynamic no longer works for me, I'm choosing a different way, and then silence. You owe no museum tour of your pain to someone who kept touching the exhibits after the sign said "Do not touch." Watch what happens when you choose this new way. Your sleep will stop feeling like a courtroom recess and start feeling like an invitation. You will wake with sentences in your mouth that want to be written, not to convince anyone, just to exist. Ideas will return like birds that finally trust your windows are open. Opportunities you thought were lost will circle back not because they were late but because now you are truly ready to hold them, and yes, the blessing you feared you forfeited will remember your address. Because heaven never misplaces what it promised. I will guard the doorway of your day for a season while you build this new normal. I will stand between you and the habit of explaining yourself to those committed to misunderstanding you. I will turn their curiosity into distance and your clarity into light, and every time your old softness tries to sign another peace treaty with chaos, I will remind you tenderly it is not your job to make another person comfortable at the price of your soul. And now, place your hand over your heart again and repeat after me in a whisper that still shakes the earth. I honor my yes. I trust my no. I am safe to shine. Feel the way your ribs lift like blinds opening to morning. That's what obedience to truth feels like. Ventilation. Keep breathing and keep choosing you with God. Not against anyone, simply with God, and your future will become a room where even your shadows look restful. If your eyes are misting as you reach this line, it is because your spirit just signed the release form for the life you are entering. The old storyline is ending not with a bang but with a benediction, and in this benediction I place upon your head the peace that protects decisions, the favor that finds you without resume, and the joy that does not ask for proof. Step forward now, child. The hallway is lit, the door is open, and I am walking one pace ahead of you so nothing surprises you except goodness. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks with contributions of up to $1.20. Stay with me a little longer because the light is still widening around you, and I don't want you to step out of the circle until it finishes writing its blessing on your skin. This is not repetition. This is refinement, and refinement is how gold learns its own name. You are going to practice a 2-minute rescue each time your mind tries to rehearse the old scenes. Place both feet flat. Rest your hands open on your thighs. Look toward a point on the wall and whisper, "Return to me, attention." Then breathe in for 4 counts and out for 6. Do this 5 times and watch how the storm inside you realizes the shore has authority. You are the shore, beloved, and your waves obey you because peace is your true gravity. I am teaching you the 3 doors test so that love does not sneak into your house wearing confusion sweater again. Door 1. Safety. Does this connection make your nervous system unclench? Door 2. Reciprocity. They give, without weighing it later. Door 3. Joy. Do you feel more possible after spending time with them? If any door refuses to open, the house is not for you no matter how pretty the porch looks in photos, and you will no apology for walking away before rent is due on your spirit. About the person whose name is rising like a watermark behind the page, hear me clearly. Heaven is not asking you to become a detective or a prosecutor. Heaven is asking you to become a gardener. Trim, water, and fence. Trimming is your no. Watering is your yes. Fencing is your boundary. If they respect the fence, you will see. If they rattle it, you will hear. Either way, you do not need to stand outside in the rain explaining wire to a crow that loves shiny things. You will notice a small recoil in them when your favor increases. Pay attention to micro-weather. A joke that lands a little too sharp when you share good news. A prayer request they forget to follow up on but somehow remember the details of your failure. The subtle way your plans become our plans only after they begin to work. These are not crimes to prosecute. They are clouds to forecast. Carry an umbrella of discernment and keep walking to sunshine. I am repairing the bridge between your intuition and your action so there is no long, expensive commute between knowing and doing. From now on, when your body tells you music is too loud in someone's presence, you will not dance to be polite. You will lower the volume with a sentence or leave the room with a blessing. This is not rudeness. It is leadership, and your life is your first organization. Prepare your space for the next chapter because rooms cooperate with courage. Clear one shelf and call it future. Wipe one counter and call it clarity. Open one window each morning for 60 seconds and call it permission. Place a small bowl of water with a pinch of salt near the doorway for one day as a symbol of cleansing. Change it at night and pour it outside. Let your own hands witness that you are not waiting for a rescuer to tidy what your wisdom can already tend. I see a message you will not send, and that will be your miracle. Restraint will do for you what arguing never could. When you stop delivering essays to people enrolled in a different class, your energy will return like a salary that forgot where to deposit. With that returned energy, you will fund the life you prayed for. Study, quiet joy, consistent work, play that does not cost your soul, and steady friendships that don't turn every conversation into a courtroom. Financially, I touch the place where fear made you sign contracts with scarcity. I tear up those contracts now. You will notice 3 honest opportunities arrive in close succession. 1 small, 1 medium, 1 unexpected. Choose with peace, not panic. The right one will ask for depth, not haste. It will not require you to perform your pain for profit. It will reward steadiness over spectacle. Follow the project that makes you breathe evenly as you plan. I bless your phone to become a tool instead of a temple. Let it ring for purpose, not for panic. Rename one contact to boundary as a private joke that keeps you wise. Create one folder called Future Laughter and move photos there that remind you of who you are when you are not auditioning. And unfollow the windows that make you measure yourself with tapes that were never accurate on you. Forgiveness will be your traveling cloak. Wear it for warmth, not as a flag waved in anyone's face. Forgiveness is the quiet way you refuse to hire bitterness as a bodyguard. It is how you outsource justice back to God without pretending the wound was small. As you forgive, you do not re-enter the lion's den. You simply stop building a museum to the bite. Within 7 days you will receive a timing sign, an invitation, or a schedule change that seems inconvenient but actually protects your peace. Accept it. Watch how the day bends around you to keep you from old rooms at the hour when nostalgia grows teeth. This is heaven editing your calendar so you can keep your promise to yourself. When the apology comes, and it may, it will arrive wrapped in "you know how I am, do not unwrap the old loops. Say, I'm choosing smaller circles and slower conversations. If you want to walk with me, match my pace, then fall silent. Silence is the hallway where truth has to take off its shoes. If they stay, you will hear the sincerity in their stocking feet. If they leave, let the door click softly. A soft click can be a psalm. Your sleep is about to become instruction instead of escape. Keep a pen by your bed. What you receive at 3:11 a.m. will not be spooky. It will be specific. Routes, names of streets. Colors, 2 sentences that solve a puzzle you've been forcing. Write them down without editing. Obedience at night becomes exhilaration by day. I place a guard over your tongue so that self-betrayal cannot borrow your voice. You will stop making appointments with pain using jokes that call you clumsy, unlucky, or unlovable. Those words used to buy you temporary belonging with people who confuse humility with humiliation. From now on, your humility will be accuracy about your gifts and gratitude for your source. That posture will attract the kind of community that claps when you nod when you bleed. There is a relationship you have not imagined yet because your imagination was too busy cleaning up after chaos. As you rest, the blueprint returns. You will recognize it by how easy honesty feels and how unnecessary translation becomes. Your laughter will have longer paragraphs and your Sundays will stop feeling like recovery rooms. You will not have to convince them that kindness is not a strategy. They will have learned it long before you arrive. Place your hand on your heart once more. Yes, again. And say, I lock the gate to what harms me. I leave the door open for what heals me. I walk with God. I walk in peace. Feel the click inside that is the sound of alignment. That is your life deciding to be whole in public after practicing in private. Now step forward. I am 1 pace ahead as promised. The hallway is brighter than before and the floor is steady. When the wind behind you tries to shout the old name, keep walking. The new season doesn't speak that language. Your task is not to translate it. Your task is to live so rooted that translation is unnecessary and you will. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks with contributions of up to $1.20. Stay just a little longer because something in you is finally sitting down after years of standing guard, and I refuse to rush the moment your nervous system learns that safety is not a weekend visitor but a resident. Let the breath come in like tide and slip out like silver water. Let your shoulders drop the invisible backpack of everybody else's expectations and feel the room quietly expand to fit the truer size of your life. I want you to mark this day with a small ceremony that your future self will thank you for. Take a glass of clean water, hold it over your heart and say, "What is mine returns with ease, what is not mine releases with grace." Then drink. When it touches your tongue, imagine the anxious lutes dissolving like salt in rain. Imagine your mind becoming a garden where ideas grow because no one is trampling the soil at midnight. Imagine your peace gaining a lock and you alone having the key. This is not superstition. This is intention. And intention is what happens when heaven hands you the pen and asks you to co-author your next chapter. You've been taught to love by emptying yourself first. But empty cups cannot quench anyone. From now on you will practice generous fullness, which means you give from overflow, not from your last ounce. Generous fullness sounds like, I can do Tuesday, not tonight. It looks like leaving a message on read until your inner yes wakes up. It feels like smiling at their urgency without building a ladder to rescue them from a fire they started for attention. This is not hardness, it is health. And health is how heaven decorates a life it trusts. As for the name that has been circling your spirit like a moth pretending to be a butterfly, hear me. You are not required to swat at shadows to prove you are brave. All you must do is turn on the light and continue. The practice is 3 sentences that end the performance contract you never signed. I'm choosing calm over constant explanation. My availability is changing. Please adjust expectations. I wish you well from a wiser distance. If a follow-up question arrives shaped like bait, feed it silence. Silence is not coldness. Silence is insulation for the home you are building inside. I am going to the foundation of the fear that you'll be misunderstood if you step back. Hear the truth. Some people misunderstand on purpose because clarity would end their access. Once you accept this, your decisions stop auditioning for approval and start collaborating with destiny. That is why your sleep will soon feel like a teacher instead of a hiding place. Your dreams will bring you practical blueprints. Names to message for a project. The exact way to rearrange a room so your focus isn't ambushed by clutter. A line of dialogue that repairs a misunderstanding with someone who has earned a front row seat. Keep the pen by your bed. We are working while you rest. You are about to watch embarrassment turn into elegance as you forgive yourself for staying longer than was kind to your soul. You stayed because your goodness is loyal, not because your discernment is broken. Today your loyalty learns a new assignment, to guard your calling. To protect your joy. To prioritize the relationships that water you without sending you an invoice later. Expect a short awkward week while your boundaries take their first steps. Then expect a long ease. The kind that sets up furniture in your lungs and names the room's hope and freedom and laughing again for no reason. Walk with me into your digital life for a moment. Turn off last scene. Not to play games but to invite quiet. Archive threads that have become echo chambers of old versions of you. Unfollow the windows that demand you perform suffering to deserve belonging. Subscribe to gentleness. To craft. To voices that challenge you without shaming you. Make a hidden folder called Returning where you store reminders of who you are when you are not surviving. Photos of unguarded laughter. A screenshot of a compliment you normally brush off. 3 sentences you wrote on a good day. On difficult afternoons. Open that folder for 30 seconds and watch how your spine remembers its true height. I place a blessing on your schedule. No more panicked yes. No more emergency friendships. No more marathon explanations to people who only hear the parts they can weaponize. Instead you will notice your yes become soft and precise. Your no's become kind and final. And your maybes become wisdom's holding pattern. The right people will orbit closer without drama and you will feel your life gaining a rhythm that does not require you to exhaust yourself to be loved. Let me also bless your work. The opportunity you feared vanished did not vanish. It was delayed while heaven cleaned the room. You will receive a message that looks ordinary. An email with a simple subject line, a phone call that starts with quick question. A door slightly ajar where before there was a wall. Step through without over-explaining your worth. You are not a salesperson on trial. You are an answer arriving on time. Favor is walking 2 steps ahead, arranging chairs. And I am checking every seat for splinters so your momentum is not interrupted by preventable pain. There will be a test, but not the old kind. It will be a kindness test disguised as convenience. An invitation to a place where the person in question will be present. You will feel the old anxiety ask for a costume change so it can sneak in as excitement. You will smile at it and decline. Not because you are frightened but because you are finished. Completion is not hatred. It is closure signed in peace. When you choose not to step back into the loop, you will sense a breeze in your chest where a knot used to be. That breeze is borrowed from the garden of your future, and it smells like mornings that do not require recovery. I want you to have language ready for the day someone says you've changed. Answer, thank you for noticing. I worked hard for that, and let the conversation end there. You owe no tour of the construction site. The house is open by invitation only now, and when you open it, it will be to people who wipe their feet before entering. Who speak softly to your old scars. Who bring laughter and patience instead of opinions and appetites. Finally, I lean close and place this on your forehead like cool water. You are not late. You are right on time. The name that rose was not a punishment but a permission slip. You are permitted to be peaceful. To prosper without an apology. To love without bleeding. To rest without explaining. To build without broadcasting. To shine without dimming. You are permitted to walk away from the museum of your previous suffering and step into a studio where joy paints directly on your days. I, Michael, will escort you there and wait by the door until you feel at home. If you made it to this line, whisper, I choose clarity. I keep my peace. I walk in favor. And the floor beneath your next decision will become level. The hallway ahead will brighten. And the minute hand that once frightened you will become a metronome guiding you into steady, beautiful time. Go now, beloved. Not in haste but in authority. For heaven has turned the page and your name is written in light. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks with contributions of up to $1.20. Stay one breath more, beloved. Because what began as a whisper has become a river, and I want you to step all the way in until your ankles, your knees, your heart are washed clean of the habit of doubting yourself. Notice how your chest loosens like a window that finally slides open after years of sticking. Notice how your thoughts line up the way books stand straight after you fix the shelf. That order you feel is not a coincidence. It is your future arriving early to help you pack. Here are the 9 gentle commitments that will keep your peace in place like anchors that do not rust. I commit to speaking to myself as kindly as I speak to a child I love. I commit to giving news time to ripen before sharing. I commit to trusting pause over panic. I commit to finishing what feeds me and releasing what only feeds drama. I commit to small, consistent steps that respect my nervous system. I commit to friendships that can hear no without punishing me. I commit to prosperity that protects my Sabbath. I commit to creativity that doesn't audition for applause. I commit to staying in rooms where my laughter does not feel expensive. Read them once in the morning for 7 days and watch how your life keeps the promise with you. Now take this 2-line prayer and put it in your mouth like morning tea. God, make my boundaries beautiful and my courage quiet. God, make my choices steady and my joy safe. Say it slowly, not like a password, but like a key that turns without scraping the lock, and I will stand beside each word ensuring no guilt sneaks into the hinge. I want to teach you the art of holy timing so you never feel bullied by the clock again. When anxiety says, hurry, answer. I move at the speed of trust. When manipulation says, decide right now, answer. My peace signs the paperwork. When nostalgia says, return to the old groom for a moment, answer. I can love a memory without reliving a wound. This is how you stop buying back your past at full price. If a conversation becomes foggy, use the lantern question: what do you actually need from me right now? Attention, action, or space? Say it calmly, watch how the fog thins, and respond only to the answer you receive, not to the performance they prefer. This is not cruelty, it is clarity, and clarity is compassion with a backbone. Your home is becoming a sanctuary again. Put music in the morning that feels like a clean sheet on a summer bed. Light something that smells like newness. Open the curtain and let the day audition for you instead of the other way around. Take 10 minutes to place a small object by the door, stone, feather, folded note, and call it a threshold marker. Each time you pass it, whisper, I cross into peace, and train your day to greet you with reverence. About resources, heaven is not stingy with those who steward well. Expect a reordering, an overdue bill gets grace, a stalled idea finds a collaborator, a tired tool is replaced by one that fits your hand. Say yes to what is simple and honest, say no to what is shiny and frantic. Wealth that requires you to shrink is not wealth, it is costume jewelry that itches. The right provision will arrive in your size and never ask you to develop an allergy to your own values. There will be a moment this week when a familiar chaos knocks using a new voice. It may sound repentant. It may sound exciting. Hold it to the 3 doors again and watch which hinge squeaks. If it fails safety, reciprocity, or joy, you do not need a 4th door called maybe. Walk away like someone who knows the map. Your feet have learned wisdom. Trust them. Practice this 10-second reset in public when your heart wobbles. Touch your wrist and think, I am held. Roll your shoulders once and think, I am here. Soften your jaw and think, I am whole. No one will notice except your future, and your future will clap inside your chest. Let me place language in your pocket for unexpected praise and criticism. Because both can unbalance you if you forget your center. When praised, say, thank you. I receive the encouragement and return the glory to God, and keep moving. When criticized fairly, say, thank you. I'll consider that and keep the helpful grain. When criticized to control, say nothing, breathe, and let silence be the exit sign. Controllers hate conversations with exits. Now, concerning that name that rose like ink through paper, you have already made the critical turn. You chose dignity over drama, keep it. Heaven will handle the edges you cannot reach if a final word is needed. It will come unannounced as calm and leave as completion. You will know you are finished when the thought of them feels like weather. Not like a verdict. Weather passes. Verdicts imprison. You were not born to live in a courtroom. I bless your mornings to begin without a scavenger hunt for peace, your afternoons to hum with a sustainable pace, your evenings to close like a well-told story. I bless your desk to host ideas that help others without hurting you, your table to seek conversations that feed you back, your pillow to keep the night free from reruns of rooms you've exited. Stand now, physically if you can, and feel how gravity becomes agreement when you choose yourself with God. The floor is not pulling you down. It is supporting you up. Say with me, I am allowed to heal. I am allowed to prosper. I am allowed to love without shrinking. And let the syllables build a small cathedral around your nervous system. Walk through that cathedral into your day and listen for the softest proof of change. Your sigh turns into a song. Finally, I set a seal on this entire message. Your clarity will not fade at sunset. Your boundary will not melt under charm. Your kindness will not be rented by guilt. What is yours returns, what is not yours releases, and what is next finds you ready. I, Michael, go before you as a quiet pillar of light, and behind you as a soft guard of mercy. Be at ease, beloved. Your life is not late. It is aligned. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks with contributions of up to $1. 20. Stay here with me a moment longer, beloved, because the current that carried you this far wants to place one more gift in your hands, the steadiness that doesn't need an audience to exist. Feel how your breath has learned a new rhythm, how your thoughts no longer rush the door like shoppers on a sale day, how the room around you seems to lean in and listen to the quiet confidence rising from your ribs. That is not imagination, that is agreement between heaven and your future. And when agreement arrives, chaos loses its lease without a fight. I want you to walk with me through a gentle rehearsal for the next time life tests your clarity. Imagine the familiar number flashing on your screen with a sudden urgency and an old story dressed in new clothes. Watch yourself set the phone face down like a teacher setting chalk aside. Hear your voice, calm, warm, and clean. Say, I'm in a meeting with my peace right now. I'll reply when my clarity is available. Feel how the world does not end when you choose timing that honors your soul. And notice how your nervous system applauds with a soft exhale as if to say, we made it to the other side of ourselves. Practice the bless block build sequence whenever you feel the old loop tugging at your sleeve. Bless what taught you a quiet thank you for the lesson. Block what drains you a boundary that does not apologize for existing. And build what feeds you 5 focused minutes on the work that matters. Repeat this sequence twice a day for 1 week and watch your life rearrange its furniture so that the couch faces the window again and the light returns to your morning without asking permission. I am placing a compass in your pocket called North True so your decisions always point home. North True is 4 questions asked in order. Does this honor my peace? Does this align with my purpose? Does this respect mutuality? Does this require me to shrink? If any answer breaks the sequence, you already have your guidance. You are allowed to walk away from tables where the bill for being yourself is too expensive. You are allowed to decline invitations that ask your soul to sit in the trunk while your smile drives. Now let's tend to the small altars of your day, the places where momentum is born without drama. Your morning altar is a chair with sunlight and a glass of water named permission. Your noon altar is 5 quiet breaths with your hand on your heart named return. Your evening altar is 10 honest minutes of reflection named recalibrate. Keep them simple and sacred, not as a performance but as a promise that you will meet yourself at least 3 times a day with kindness and truth. Heaven attends appointments kept humility. There is a sentence I want you to memorize for moments when pressure tries to impersonate purpose. I refuse to be rushed by anything I would not marry. Say it when deadlines grow teeth. Say it when flattery becomes a leash. Say it when fear puts on a cape and calls itself urgency. Watch how the cape falls to the floor and the ordinary truth stands there unmasked and manageable. Ordinary truth is a friend. It doesn't yell. It edits about the name that hovered like a watermark. You have done the holy work. You listened. You recognized. You stepped back in dignity. Now let heaven complete the part you cannot reach. You will know completion has arrived when you can remember the timeline without rehearsing the pain. When you can bless their growth from a distance without borrowing a microscope to inspect it. When your day no longer curves around their weather. That freedom does not announce itself with fireworks. It appears like clean sheets on a bed you forgot could feel this soft. Let's fortify your language so your future does not have to translate you. Replace "it's fine" with "it doesn't work for me." Replace "maybe later" with "no. Thank you." Replace "I'm overreacting" with "my body is telling the truth." Replace "I'm sorry for existing" with "thank you for understanding my boundary." And replace "I'll make do" with "I deserve fit, not force." Watch how these phrases repair the floor under your feet until every step sounds like confidence walking. I bless your creativity to return without asking you to bleed for applause. Create without permission slips from people who only clap when the spotlight is on them. Measure your art by how honest it feels in your hands, not by how loudly it echoes in rooms that do not love you. The right listeners will find you because truth has a homing signal, and your work when made in peace becomes a lighthouse for those searching for the shore you now live on. There will be a day soon when you catch yourself smiling at nothing. Do not correct it. That smile is an old angel stretching its wings. The one you locked in a closet to keep someone else comfortable. Open the door and let it walk the hallway of your life again. It will choose new colors for your ordinary. It will press music into your afternoon. It will remind you that joy is not a negotiation. It is an inheritance that grows when honored. I want to show you how to end conversations that circle without becoming the villain in someone else's movie. Use the graceful close. Thank you for sharing. I don't have the bandwidth to keep revisiting this. Wishing you well. Then stop typing. The first few times your hands will itch for a paragraph. Let them itch. Relief is passing through your fingers on its way to your heart. And on the other side of that itch is a life where your energy is not a public utility. For the next 7 mornings, write one sentence that begins with "I allow" and one that begins with "I release." I allow ease in my work. I release the need to announce my boundaries. I allow friendships that laugh gently. I release rooms that feed on apology. I allow guidance to arrive on time. I release my habit of rehearsing worst-case endings. These sentences are small bridges. Cross them daily and your future will meet you halfway with flowers in its hands. If guilt knocks, and it will, offer it tea, not the couch. Sit it at the table. Listen for 5 minutes. Thank it for trying to keep you included. Then show it the door. Guilt believes you must be universal to be worthy. Heaven believes you must be truthful to be free. Freedom is better company. And truth sets out more chairs. I place a protective sweetness over your relationships so that what is mutual multiplies and what is manipulative malfunctions. Expect 2 surprising allies to step closer without fanfare. One with practical wisdom wrapped in laughter, another with quiet influence wrapped in patience. You will recognize them not by grand promises, but by how your breath slows down when they enter the conversation. Nurture these connections the way you water plants you want to keep, consistently, not anxiously. Let your finances learn your new boundaries too. Your money is a messenger. Assign it to carry calm. Pay what is yours without self-punishment. Save without fear. Give where the soil is good. Invest in tools that reduce friction and decline the glittering offers that smell like hurry. Wealth is not numbers alone. It is the absence of panic around your daily bread. Heaven is committed to that absence as you are committed to stewardship. When criticism visits from someone who has not earned the right to shape you, practice the 2-filter mercy. Ask, is it true and is it mine? If it fails, either filter. Return it to sender with a silent blessing. Your soul is not a lost and found for other people's projections. Keep your counters clear so your purpose has room to set down its groceries. A closing ritual for today. Stand. Loosen your jaw. Shake your hands gently until the leftover noise leaves your palms. Then place both hands over your heart and whisper. I keep what is sacred. I release what is heavy. I walk in bright timing. Feel the tiny thud answer under your fingers. That is your life agreeing to be light again. Let that agreement escort you to your next task like a kind friend walking you home. And now I seal this continuation with the same quiet authority that has guided each line. Your clarity will outlast persuasion, your boundaries will outlast charm. Your peace will outlast performance. You will wake with sentences worth living and sleep with rooms that do not replace storms. The future you ask God for has found your address and is knocking softly. Open without fear. Step across the threshold without apology and know that I, Michael, am already in the room keeping the light warm while you arrive in fullness. If you wish to express your support further,